And good morning is 7:04 on this Friday, May 23rd. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. The sun is shining here on a Friday morning as we get ready for the Memorial Day weekend. We welcome you to our program. And, of course, each Friday at this time, we talk about Wilson Bank and Trust. Marty Crow is here this morning. Marty, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, nice to see you. Marty Crow, Assistant Vice President and Office Manager. And which branch is it you manage?
I manage the Highway 109 office.
Well, there's a lot of traffic passes by there. I don't know whether they all stop or not, but I'll bet a lot of them do.
Boy, it backs up in the morning. Just a lot of new development in that area. And got to watch your speed. The speed limit's come down. It's 45 in a lot of spots now.
Yeah. A little public service announcement here this morning.
Yeah.
Tell us how you got started in banking.
Well, I'm going on 14 years now. Had a friend whose dad knew some bankers, and he said they wear nice suits and they're friendly and seem to enjoy what they do. So he made some introductions for me, and was able to start a career in it.
Yeah. Well, you didn't start out as a branch manager, but you kind of worked your way up, I guess.
Yeah. I've been managing the branch at 109 going on 6 years now. Mm-hmm. So it's been a good run. Started at the Mount Juliet Road office, been with Wilson Bank 7 years, and it's a great company.
Did you grow up around here?
I grew up in Panama City Beach, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I married a Tennessee woman. So.
Okay. Well, Monday, of course, is Memorial Day, as I've already alluded to, and I think all our banks are closed on Memorial Day, and including all of Wilson Bank and Trust.
That's right. Yeah, we're regular hours on Saturday across the footprint, closed Sunday, of course, and then in observance of Memorial Day, all of our offices will be closed. Well,
you live in a growing area. In fact, just about the whole footprint of Wilson Bank's in a growing area. If you think about Middle Tennessee and where all the locations are, but the 109 area has been growing a lot and still is, I think.
It is. A lot of households coming in. I think it's official. Walmart's moving in, and I'm sure there's going to be some other businesses around there, and so it's really grown up. It's you don't have to leave to go to the supermarket down the road anymore, and there's just a lot of new development.
Well, lending money is one of the ways banks make money, and I suppose you are one of the lenders, maybe the lender at this branch.
I am. Yeah, the bank's got money to lend. If you're looking to expand or grow the household or your business. Stop on into a branch and talk to a banker.
Well, again, we do want to emphasize, of course, the fact that you're going to be closed Monday. And now, what about Saturday banking at your branch?
We are drive-through only, 8 a.m. to noon. But there are full-service offices in Lebanon that you can still stop at if you need to. Right,
if you need more. But the thing about it is, just if you've got something that needs to be done, it'd probably even be better to do it today or maybe tomorrow if you can do it through the drive-through. But just keep in mind, if you don't get it done in that time, Monday, you're going to be closed. You have to wait at least till Tuesday.
That's right.
What else would you like? Do you have a staff that works there with you? No doubt. One person can't do everything in a branch of Wilson Bank and Trust because you're busy. You gotta have some people to help.
There's 7 of us there that work. We've got a great staff, a lot of good tenure, and I think nowadays in a branch you really have to wear a lot of different hats. And so it used to be a little more specialized. You'd sit down at a desk to do one thing, talk to a teller to do a different kind of transaction. But it's really, we're when you talk to a banker, there's so much that they can do for you that's just there's so many hats to wear.
Well, and too, even about lending money, if you have to say no, and you probably have to every once in a while, maybe somebody needs to get their house in, their financial house in order just a little bit, and you come back, or we can't do this, but we can help you here. So you have to be a little bit innovative when you're lending money.
We do, and we can be, and that's the kind of the beauty of community banking is that you know your customer, and there's flexibility in ways. I always tell people that. You, as a banker, you get to say yes about 90% of the time. That's pretty good, right? You got to say no 10% or not now 10% of the time. But as long as you give people a direction, say, hey, if you can do this, this, and this, come back and talk to us. They'll come back and talk to you.
Right. All right. Well, Anything else? We got a minute left here, Marty. Anything else you want to say this morning?
We're the organization's growing. We just opened up a new office in Cookeville. We're now in Chattanooga, a full service office down there as well. The bank's looking to grow. So if you're a business looking to borrow money, stop on in, talk to a banker. We've got money to lend. All
right. Well, Marty Crow, thanks for being with us this morning. Assistant Vice President, Office Manager, 109 Branch. And it is Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. They're still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987. Thanks for being with us this morning. And with that, let me turn to my guest. We're going to be talking about an event that is coming up here very shortly. In fact, it's about a week and a day away, and that's the 60s decade reunion for Lebanon High School. And I've got with me this morning Steve Quarles. Steve, good morning.
Good morning.
And Larry Tomlinson. Larry.
Good morning, Coleman.
Larry's wearing his Tennessee orange this morning, and you would, if you haven't heard, they beat the number one team in the SEC in the tournament yesterday, and 12 innings?
12 innings. Good ball game.
7-5, I believe.
I believe what it was, yeah. 12,
I watched the ending of it.
Both teams had a chance to win, at various times, but Tennessee was fortunate to get a double play and get out of the inning and come in and take advantage of it.
Kind of the turning point in the game from what I saw. Yeah. Sure well, they're good, and they hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
And play Vanderbilt today.
Yeah. Of course, it's like we always like to say, if it wasn't for Tennessee, there wouldn't even be a Texas. So, and Tennessee's the mother of all orange. That's it.
Well, I'm still wearing my black and gold, but
when we play tonight.
Afternoon tonight. I'm not sure what time, but this is the semifinals, I believe.
Yeah.
So the winner of this one, and I don't know who the other two are. Is Florida still in it? MJ says no.
No,
and
I don't
she
think
would know. Well, whoever it is, the winner of that game will play the winner of the UT Vandy game for the SEC championship. Yeah. But they're probably all going to the big dance of 64. Yeah. Well, we'll get off of that. Steve, I want to talk to you a little bit here because I ran into you years ago, and when you were part of the Moles. The Moles were, I guess you'd call them a rock band that was formed from Lebanon. I think all y'all were at Lebanon High, weren't you?
Yes.
And you were part of that, and you came out here to the radio station and played a time or two, maybe several times. And then I think the group went to Florida and hung out there for a year or two, playing some.
That was after my time, though.
Oh, okay.
I just played with them here locally.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's we've got a picture of you that was made back in the olden days, and the old transmitter. That's okay, Larry. You can hang on to it there. But I'm gonna keep it. That was given to me by Susie, but the picture itself was made back about that time, I guess.
About 1958, maybe.
Yeah,
something like that.
That's before I even started here.
Bill Johnson was your engineer here, and he was a great friend to a lot of us kids that like to build model airplanes and fly them, and he had us out here. We were interested in the radio business, of course.
Yeah.
It was all fantastic and new to a kid 10 years old. So.
Yeah. Well, we need to talk about this 60s decade reunion, and Steve, are you one of the people who came up with this idea?
Well, actually, Debbie Eubanks was the initiator of the idea. She was in Larry's class, I believe.
She was a year behind me.
Okay. And somehow we got connected on Facebook. And she was really concerned over the last few years about us losing so many classmates. And she kept pushing me. I don't know why she picked me out, but pushing me to try to come up with something to gather people together. And we did try to do it last year at the Don Fox Park, but it got rained out. Big rainstorm that day, so we canceled it. So after that, she kept pushing me again. When are we going to do this again? When are we going to plan it? So I started working on it probably 3 or 4 months ago, and Larry and Pam were kind enough to help find us a venue. And so now we've got it scheduled for Saturday, May 31st, between the hours of 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. at the old Lebanon High School, which is the Board of Education building now.
Which is a lot different than it was when you went to school.
Oh yeah, they've cleaned it up and modernized it. They took me on a tour. Larry took me on a tour of it a couple of weeks ago, and it's really, really nice.
Yep. Well, now this is for classes 1960 through 1969, 10 years there.
Yes.
And and I guess it's pretty much come and go if it's up
Yes.
many hours.
It's just a time set aside for anybody to come anytime. We're including Castle Heights because of all the day boys that lived in the town but attended Castle Heights, and any other people that attended schools close by in that decade.
Yeah.
Because whether you went to Castle Heights or to Lebanon High School, you had mutual friends. And we just want to get old friends together. And I jokingly said, come and tell some tall tales of your lifetime and before we all pass on.
All right, well, that's a good place to stop and take a break. Steve Quarles, Larry Tomlinson, my guest here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and that regular oil change, $39.95 up to 5 quarts of oil. Tax and disposal, $17.80 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still a little bit lighter than normal, but it's trying to build at times. 24 westbound up through the Antioch area coming in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. Definitely no shortage of radar out here all over Middle Tennessee. You're going to see more and more radar over the next 24, 48 hours. Hey, when it's time to move, call True Friends Moving Company, the #1 moving company here in Middle Tennessee. Give them a call at True Friends Moving Company, 240-2811. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Save time and money with a business account from Wilson Bank and Trust. Our great account benefits help you grow your business with online and mobile banking. No monthly fee for bill pay and low monthly balance requirements. You'll enjoy easier record keeping and tax reporting when you open a business account to keep your business expense separate from personal too. A business account helps preserve your personal liability protections from business obligations. Wilson Bank and Trust is here to get you there. Visit us at any of our 30 office locations across Tennessee or go online at wilsonbank.com. Member FDIC.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a Friday morning. We are talking about the 60s decade reunion with Steve Quarles and Larry Tomlinson. And we kind of got I think a good introduction to start with here. But Steve, back to you for a minute. You, as I mentioned, you were part of the Moles band, and when they left town, you didn't go. What have you done since then? And I ask you, I think most people know Larry Tomlinson has been with us all this time, been a member of the school board, been a county commissioner, and all this. Most of our people here, but you, unless it's a friend of yours or something, they might not know what all you've done. So tell us briefly what your life has kind of been all about.
Well, I graduated from Lebanon High School and attended University of Tennessee. Came back during the Vietnam era. I was in the 5th Special Forces Group, Green Beret. Spent 4 years there and returned. I went to work for Firestone in Laverne. They were the big employer. Went into management there. When Nissan announced, a lot of us that were at Firestone moved to Nissan in management. I spent 13 years at Nissan and went into their supply chain. And I spent the rest of my career actually building plants and managing plants that made car parts for Nissan, General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, BMW, Honda, Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
And traveled a bit. my wife and I moved around the country a bit because I was building all these plants.
Mm-hmm.
And then I retired in 2017 and came back home.
And
Live in Nashville.
okay.
I jokingly tell people we live about as close as you can to Brentwood. That's where we shop and spend primarily most of our lives. But I live in Davidson County just close enough to have to pay the damn taxes.
Well, we're glad to have you with us today. And this 60th decade reunion, if you joined us late, is what we're talking about. It is set for next Saturday, May 31st, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the old Lebanon High School, which is, what's the official name?
ATC, Administrative Training Complex.
All right. But
that's referred to it as ATC,
where our director of schools and his staff and all work every day. But it's certainly a nice place to have this, no doubt, and that's still a pretty sprawling place there. Where your area, where the reunion, is it going to be all over? Or are you going to be in a special place? We
were struggling to find a place that wouldn't be susceptible to another rain out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Pam and Larry got involved with me and suggested that facility, that they had an events area. And Larry took me on a tour of it, and Brittany Bills helped with planning it all.
Mm.
And if you go around to the back of the school, back of the entrance, to the back of the facility, there's an old area. We used to be the smoking area where all the guys smoked cigarettes, and it's now the event entrance. You go in there and you go down a hall to the left to a huge cafeteria, and that's where we're going to have the event.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's great. And of course, I'm sure they would. The people there, and Jeff Lutz will talk to anybody that had a similar situation. But with Larry having been on the board and got some connections, it probably made it even easier.
Oh, so. Absolutely. I appreciate Pam and Larry helping this out. If we do this another year, I hope somebody takes it over.
What do you got to add to all that, Larry?
Oh, well, you know, Pam's done a lot more about this than I have. She and Steve and Debbie but when Pam was asking me about, a venue, and I said, well, why don't you try to have it at the ATC? I said, let me call Mr. Luttrell and see if it might be available during that time. And I was really excited about that, Coleman, because I thought that, and hopefully we don't know how many people's going to show up for this, but I hope it's going to be a lot of people. And there'll probably be a lot of them that's never been in that building since they graduated from high school. Mm-hmm. And they can remember it like it was back in that day and see what it is now. It'll be a eye-opening experience for them. And you've been in the building. I think you were there the day we had the grand opening in 18. Mm-hmm. And we started that program, Coleman, in 2016, I believe it was, when we just, there was a plan to try to sell it and get rid of it, and that didn't work out. So it was just sitting there boarded up. So the Board of Education at that time decided, under Dr. Wright's leadership, that we needed more space, and let's just bite the bullet and renovate that building. And it's turned out to be a really nice showplace for Wilson County. And we started the renovation in 16, and we had the grand opening in 18, I guess it was. It was about a $16 million project.
Yeah.
Everything in it came out, and
it's beautiful.
It's nice, and hopefully that'll want to make some people that might have been hedging on whether or not they wanted to come to this reunion or not. And this is a great idea, and I say that because looking back at my class of 64, we've lost so many people during that time, and I know there are classes just like ours that's lost a lot of people too, and we're all aging to the place where now, a lot of them can't get together anymore. So it was a good idea to try to bring all this decade of people back together, I thought. And like Steve said, just renew some old acquaintances and have some fun.
And I'm thinking here, I guess were the graduate in 1960. I believe all of y'all were there for the whole 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you would have been, because my first year, which was back in the 50s, was only my freshman year was I not in that building. So we you all would have been. Everybody went to high school at Lebanon High in the 60s would have gone there to that building. What all can you expect? I mean, you've got the window here for 11 to 4. That's a 5-hour period of time. And there'll be some, no doubt, that'll be there the whole time, but probably most people it's going to be more of a come and go thing. So how's this going to work?
Well, I'll yield to Steve on the majority of that, but I do know that they've been working hard. They've got some food trucks lined up to come in and serve. I think Pam has made arrangements with being a former, I guess you'd say, a Lebanon High School band alumni. She's still involved with that group, and their group, the Lebanon High School band boosters, are going to come in, and they're going to set up some grills and grill hamburgers and things like that will be for sale to help raise money for their program. But Steve can probably tell you more about that. But before, I want to make sure that people understand that you'll come in the event entrance and you'll come down the hallway and you'll be able to see a lot of the things, memorabilia on the walls, and that's recognizing all the schools. But we'll be having this event in the cafeteria, which is down in what we all remember as the T. We all talk about the T. So it's down in that area, and we're having it in there because it's a big open space with tables, and people can get up and move around and talk and fellowship with one another. Steve can tell you about this, but I think his son is coming in, and he's going to play some music and that kind of thing. Brittany has made arrangements for us to have the 4 big screen TVs up running and scrolling with pictures that Steve has provided for him and other folks. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time.
We've put together some slide presentations to go on the video monitors, covering every alumni or every annual from every class, both from Lebanon High School and Castle Heights. And as Larry mentioned, my youngest son is a professional musician. He plays guitar with a number of bands, travels some, but he also does playing the recorded music.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he's putting together a pretty extensive list of 60s music, 60s decade music to play at the venue. So we're going to have a little bit of music entertainment, some video, and a lot of room for people just to visit.
Well, from what you're talking, it's going to be more than just a come and go. You're probably going to want to be there for a while.
We hope so. As Larry said, we might have 10 people show up, and we may have 500. I hope we have a good turnout.
Well, I take it that there's no admission charge or anything like that.
It's all free.
Just show up. What about as far as parking goes? It shouldn't be.
That's one reason that we picked this, because they have very ample parking, I think, and it's going to be very convenient to get into. And we're going to have some registers for people to put their name, address, phone number, and such, that we can kind of keep a log of who's still around.
Right.
And we're asking everybody to try to make a small name tag of some sort, because none of us look like we did. So it'd be better to identify each other.
Yeah, time changes our looks a little bit too. That's for sure. Well, we got to wrap it up here. Got about a minute left here, but it is the 60s decade reunion of Lebanon High School and Castle Heights Military Academy.
Yeah.
If you went to Heights during the 60s, you're welcome to.
Exactly.
And it will be next Saturday, May 31st, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the old Lebanon High School, which is currently where the central office is located. Where Mr. Luttrell's office and those that work with him are. It's there, and a lot of planning gone into this, no doubt, and just appreciate Steve. Really, I saw you when you were a teenager, I guess, and barely remember you, but you've had quite a career, and Larry will have to say the same for you. You've come a long way from Central to except you're still out.
We've come a long way from riding bicycles up and down Taylor from Central Road, walking the creek bank, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, thank you all for being with us, and hope you have a great reunion. That is part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more. Please keep it right here, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota. They'll help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota, check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. So a couple of accidents still getting some attention out here. It's trying to build, leaving Wilson County a little bit more in the last few minutes, coming through Mount Juliet on 40 coming westbound. No shortage of radar all over Middle Tennessee. This morning you're going to see a lot of radar over the next 24, 48 hours. Please make sure you got that seatbelt buckled up. Princess Hot Chicken has new items on the menu. Check them all out this weekend when you order online at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
It's summertime, summertime.
The sun is shining, flowers are blooming, and it's time to get your backyard ready for all that summertime fun.
Well, if you want a bigger backyard, or maybe you don't want to mow anymore, let us help you find the home that fits your needs.
Houses are flying off the market so quickly, you really need to get a real estate agent to help you to find that dream home.
That's why you don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmenthaler at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team, 443-3130.
Well, that partly cloudy skies for today. Highs will be in the mid-70s. Partly cloudy again for tonight, and it will be cool. Lows in the lower 50s, and then mostly cloudy on Saturday. We remain in the middle 70s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Storm Specialist Drew Richards.
We welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company here on a Friday morning. And this morning, not one, but two members of the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty are with us. Rocky Top Realty, Exit Rocky Top Realty at 1330 West Main and Lebanon. Great people, great service. People you can trust. And one of them is Miss Judy.
Good morning.
Cox. Good morning. And the other is Miss Medina Himmenthaler.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. All right. We always let you get us started, Miss Judy.
Well, we're always talking about people that when they sell their house and they get ready to pack up their van to move, sometimes they take things they're not supposed to take. So I brought the actual contract from the Real Estate Commission that we use. Some companies have their own, but we use the Real Estate Commission contract because I feel like they drew this up. The attorneys did. They know what they're doing. But I was just going to read a couple of things that's in here so that people, if your agent forgets to tell you, you know. It says included as part of the property is all attached light fixtures and light bulbs, including ceiling fans. And you think, who's going to take the light bulbs out? But there's been instances, and I'm on a board for the state, and we analyze a lot of these things. And there are people that actually will, if there's 4 bulbs in a ceiling fan, they'll take 3 of them out and leave 1. And take the bulbs with them. So, there's all kind. The reason why these rules are made, somebody did it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people will take the ceiling fan down. And we tell people when you're going to list your house, we ask them when we're going through, is there anything in this house that's attached that you want to take with you? Because sometimes we've had one where they had their grandmother's dining room light fixture. Well, they said, oh, we want to take that with us. I said, take it down now. Don't let the people see it, because they go through and then they think, oh, you didn't tell, their agent doesn't tell them that light fixture doesn't stay. So we always get people to take it down, put a new one up, because what happens sometimes, we've seen it happen, they'll take the light fixture, they'll leave it up there, and then when they get ready to move, they take the light fixture and put up a little rinky-dink one that's nothing comparable to the other one. And when the people walk in, it's like, what happened to my beautiful light fixture? Well, it's gone on the moving truck. So, so there's reasons for all this. And you would think it says all plumbing fixtures and all the heating and cooling. You would think nobody's taking plumbing fixtures, but some people have special sinks that they have in the powder room. They have special faucets. They need to take it off and change it before the people start walking through. All the doors and storm windows, you would think nobody would take that, but people have changed the doors out. You know,
a lot of trouble, isn't it, Coleman?
And a lot of this stuff doesn't happen because some agents don't go do a walkthrough before closing, and the buyers, you know, it's already closed. The moving truck is gone. The sellers are out of Dodge, and here the buyers go to their new house, and the front door is not the same door that they looked at. And so there's reasons why there's a procedure, and you want to make sure if you're listing your house or buying a house that your agent is taking care of all these things for you. And on the window treatments, people go, window treatments, well, that's curtains. No, it can be shutters, blinds, shades, curtains, and draperies. And we have a lot with the curtains because people have in their bedrooms, their curtains match the bedspread. Well, the lady forgets to say, well, I'm taking those curtains because it matches my bedspread. No. And then they walk in and the curtains are gone. So anyway, you have to get involved with this before. And a lot of people will take the curtains and they'll take the rods, but they didn't put the rods on the contract. They just said they wanted the curtains. So they'll take the rods, and then people have got to go install rods before they can put the curtains back up. Another thing we have is people take the gas logs out of the fireplace. They take the gas logs with them because they just bought them and they're brand new and they want to take them with them.
It's comical the more you read it.
And another one we have is basketball goals. Oh. If they are attached, a lot of people attach that backboard to their garage. Well, they'll take it all down, take it with them. So those are things, and antennas, satellite dishes. Another one we have, if they have a central vac, they'll leave, the central vac is installed in the house. They'll take the piping with them, the hose that goes with the vacuum cleaner. They'll take the hose with them. Same thing with swimming pools. If you've got one of those automatic vacuum cleaners in the swimming pool, it says swimming pools and all the components. So they'll take that. And it's just amazing. And also like key fobs. You got key fobs to different things, remote controls to the TVs if you're leaving those, remote controls to the blinds that go up and down. It's amazing. And now a new one that we've got that's just been added in there, it's with like when you're having these charging stations for your electric cars. Those cost a lot. Well, people will take all that out and take it with them. Well, some people bought the house because they have an electric car. So, so we want to always make sure that your agent is taking care of, when you list the house, what are you keeping and what's going. And also like mirrors on the wall. Some mirrors just hang on the wall. Some are attached to the wall. So you got to clarify that. Rugs, people will take rugs up. So you just be aware of when you're listing your house.
Madane, I believe it's your turn.
It's just another example to show it's just not a sign in the yard, you know?
Right, yes.
There's a whole lot more to it. That's the first stop, is putting a sign in the yard.
Well, Miss Judith's experience really shows. That's what every time she's out here.
Well, I wanted people to see this is actually in contracts if people will read them. Yeah. But most people don't read all that stuff. They just sign it, go buy a house.
Or if you put a TV, you keep the TV brackets on the wall. Well, you don't take the guts with you. And just leave the frame because it's useless. But anyway, wanted to talk about a new listing that we've got on the market. It is coming soon. As of next weekend, it'll be live on the market, but it is available as far as coming soon now. It is in the Oaks Point community, which is beside of Five Oaks. It is at 505 Cherry Blossom Way. So give us a call if you want to be in that area. It's in the under 600,000 mark, and it's around 2,500 square feet. It's got 3 full bedrooms, 3.5 baths, all on the main level. The only thing upstairs is a huge rec room or flex room, hobby room, playroom, homeschool room above the 2-car garage. So give us a call there if you are interested to be in that area. Immaculate, move-in ready, don't have to do anything to it. Paint colors are wonderful. It also has a screened back patio and an enlarged deck with motorized screens. So give us a call if you're interested in that one. If you were looking for a townhome, we have one available at Cedar Station at 133 Cecil Road. It's located in the area of Mike's Foodland, Al's Foodland, and it is under 1,300 square feet, and it's under 300,000. So give us a call there. There is 3 bedrooms and 2.5 full baths, or 2.5 baths in that one, and it is all exterior maintenance. HOA takes care of everything. HOA is under $100 a month. So give us a call there. If you're looking for a single living home or another condo or townhouse, give us a call. If you're looking for land, give us a call. If you're looking for land outside of Wilson County towards Spencer, Tennessee, which is in Van Buren, which is on the other side of Crossville, give us a call. That one is 28 acres with a 5-acre lake on it, and it has a house that's not livable, but it's a beautiful piece of property, and it's listed in the $799,000.
Okay.
So give us a call there. But if you're looking to buy or list your house or buy your house, give us a call. Even this weekend, we'll be out showing.
All right.
So give us a call.
Phone number is 615-443-3130, and somebody does answer the phone 24/7, so that's good to know.
That's right. And remember, Coleman, don't make a move without us.
Y'all have a great weekend.
Happy
We'll see
Memorial
you next Friday. Okay. We're about 19 minutes before the hour, and my guest is here for part 2, and today we have another program that is presented by the Wilson County Democratic Party. The guest this morning is Pastor Trey Suey, and our first opportunity to meet is right here. But welcome to our program.
Good morning, Coleman.
Tell us, Will, a little bit about yourself, because you're going to be talking a little bit of the political talk, but we'd like to know a little bit about you and your background to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am a local Cumberland Presbyterian minister in the Wilson County area here. My church is in Watertown, Commerce Cumberland Presbyterian Church. Of course, my thoughts today, I will say as a prerequisite, I do not represent my whole denomination, do not represent everybody in my church. That's the beautiful thing about church, is it's a shared space. But I am a Cumberland Presbyterian minister. My wife and I both are Mount Juliet locals, born and raised in South Mount Juliet. We have 2 little girls and love Wilson County.
All right. How do you believe the relationship between politics and religion has changed over the years?
Yeah, that's a good question. Over the past few years, honestly, since 2016, but even going back before that, we've seen, especially in our area, I think, an attempt from the Republican Party to monopolize faith, to monopolize religion. Now, the thing is, I grew up, my mama was a good old Republican. I grew up in a Republican household. The party that we have today is not my mama's Republican Party. It has been taken over, it seems, by an extreme wing, the MAGA wing, which uses Jesus for the name of Jesus for the sake of power, but has no intent of actually playing out what Jesus taught when it came to taking care of the poor, when it came to including people of all stripes and backgrounds into community. And so what I've seen over the past few years specifically is a ramping up of this. This has always been the case, kind of on the peripheral. But this has come to the center now. It's very obvious that the name of Jesus is being used not to follow Jesus, but for the sake of power. I mean, we have a man in the White House who said he's never had to ask for forgiveness of sins. And yet, we have all of our local politicians pretending that this is the Christian party. Well, I know that a tenet of Christianity across denominations, across churches, the first step to becoming a Christian is believing that we all get things wrong from time to time. We all mess up. We all sin. We all fall short of the glory of God. And yet, we're supposed to believe that a man in the White House is a Christian when he said he's never had to ask for forgiveness of sin, yet has been liable for sexual assault, yet has been liable, as we've seen, for pretending that he won an election that he lost. Even his vice president, who is truly an evangelical, as we've seen, despite his politics or my agreeing with his politics, this man said, I cannot pretend that I can keep my integrity and support Donald Trump and his lie to maintain a White House that he has lost. And so what we've seen is something, I think, catastrophic to the testimony of a Christian's faith going into the future. Future generations, even young people I know who have voted for Donald Trump, they laugh at evangelicalism and its loss of integrity over these past years.
Okay, it is time for us to take a break, but we have guest pastor Trey Suey in our program presented by the Wilson County Democratic Party. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
All right, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford, get $50 off $250 repair offer to owners of 4 to 10-year-old Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury vehicles. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still a little bit of traffic trying to get up through the Antioch area. Coming in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24 going westbound, passing Bell Road, Hickory Hollow Parkway. There's been plenty of troopers scattered down I-24, especially in the Pleasant View area, that section of Cheatham County where we had a crash there earlier, slowing down. Traffic coming in from Clarksville towards Nashville. Hey, when you need dependable towing, call STR Towing and Recovery here in Middle Tennessee. Check them out at strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
Coleman and Company, welcome to our final segment here for Friday morning as we get ready for the Memorial Day weekend. But our program here, second half this morning, presented by the Wilson County Democratic Party. And again, my guest is Pastor Trey Suey. I believe you said Commerce Cumberland Presbyterian Church is
where I serve. Yes, right. Sir, that's correct.
All right. Well, continuing our discussion here, which party do you believe most aligns with the teachings of Jesus Christ?
Absolutely. Now, I never want to pin anybody in, right? I believe that part of the shrewdness of God is he puts Christians in all sorts of groups and communities within the world to be salt and light there. The issue I'm seeing right now, especially if you even look at our local Wilson County Republican Party and how they represent themselves on social media and so on, is not salt and light. It seems to be antagonistic with the world. And so it's not love, it's not the teachings of Jesus that we're seeing. When I see the teachings of Jesus being played out locally in public policy, what I'm seeing is that the Wilson County Democrats and the Tennessee Democratic Party are supporting things like no taxation on groceries to help the poor. Meanwhile, the Republicans shoot that down, right, and give tax cuts to corporations. Now, when Jesus said the first will be last and the last shall be first, I don't know how that corresponds to his teachings. When Jesus said, blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the earth, but yet it seems that the Republican Party is communicating, blessed are the billionaires, for they shall inherit the earth. This seems very contradictory, antichrist in a sense. The spirit of the whole way of conducting politics doesn't. It seems there seems to be a push for using rhetoric that gets the votes in, that seems like populist rhetoric. But when brass tacks is hit, what it looks like is there's no public policy that's actually supporting, within Tennessee, coming from the Republicans, just your common person like you and I. Or those amongst us who are trying to get by, who live in the trailer park down the road. And not to mention the immigrants, who Jesus says, welcome the stranger. The Bible tells us to welcome the stranger as one of your own. A lot of times when people even read the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, they assume that they know why God judged Sodom and Gomorrah. But the prophet Ezekiel says exactly why Sodom and Gomorrah was judged. And it was because of their ill treatment of the stranger, of the immigrant, and of the poor.
Are there other misconceptions that you believe Christians have about their role in politics today?
Yeah, I think that some of their misconceptions is that whoever can judge their neighbor the loudest, their neighbor's lifestyle the loudest, or whatever have you, is the most faithful. What I see with Jesus is he's not someone that reduces space. He's not someone who's exclusive. He's someone who's inclusive. He invites people to the table, two different people that would have normally nothing to do with each other. When you see the ministry of Jesus in the Gospels, you see him inviting tax collectors. You see him inviting prostitutes. You see him invite these people that the day before Jesus entered their life would have had nothing to do with each other. We have a liturgy at our church occasionally in which we say, when we're confessing our sins, God forgive us for judging the other person that you've invited to your table, that we act as if they don't belong. And so that's what we do. What I think that Christians think today also is that Christian nationalism is something that Jesus taught. I want to be very clear. Christian nationalism is a false teaching. The idea that Christians should seek to conquer their neighbor by conquering the government, by only having by the way, someone has to define what Christianity is as well. So if Christianity takes an opinion, takes a stance that we need to own the government, right? And then someone who's defining what kind of Christian owns the government, right? Because I'm sure I wouldn't agree with, the Christian nationalist Southern Baptist who might want to disenfranchise certain groups of people based off of how they think or how they live out their life. What I see with Jesus is he's always protecting people from being encroached upon by religious law that would seek to dehumanize them, cast them aside, and disenfranchise them. I don't see that happening today with the Democrats, but I do see that happening with Republican policy.
Well, do you have concerns about the influence of modern-day politics in the congregation?
I do. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm on a Sunday morning, I've never promoted or demoted in the minds of any congregant any political figure. But I've seen within Wilson County what I would call these bastions for Republican politics go on full campaigns, have Sundays fully campaigning for the current administration leading up to the election. Now, I don't see that happening in moderate churches. I don't see that happening in more liberal churches that seek to create space for people. But I do see that happening in these self-proclaimed, more conservative churches. And I think the reason for that has to do probably with donors and tithing. Oftentimes what you'll hear is coming from the right is this idea of false teachers tickling the ears of people, telling people what they want to hear. And they do this to gain, congregants and to gain power and so on. If I wanted to grow a church in Wilson County, and my main objective was to get as many people in that building as possible, I would preach the gospel of Donald Trump. I would forsake the gospel of Christ. But you have any other questions?
Well, what advice do you have for a Christian who may have a bad taste in their mouth because of Donald Trump?
Yeah, well, I think that bad taste in their mouth makes sense. I just saw that the Wilson County Republican Party is going to have Matt Gaetz here to speak in Lebanon. And their blurb that they had on their advertisement for this is, a man who stands up for conservative family values. Now tell me how a man who is just being investigated by Congress for potentially having there being evidence that he had sex with a minor, it stands up for family values. It's not my family values. I'm a father of 2 little girls. And how am I supposed to say in 20 years when they asked me what I stood for in my generation, I said, I just made excuses for all these sexual assaultants. I made excuses for all of these lies and pretended that they were family values. The only family values I see coming from the Wilson County Democratic Party in terms of local politics, who do care about what it looks like to live day to day in the life of just the common person, you and I, and aren't making excuses for these people on the world stage that are trying to use the name of Jesus to gain political power.
Well, this isn't in our script here, but back to something you were mentioning earlier. You were talking about removing the sales tax from groceries, which I'm not sure anybody would object to if it felt like we could afford it. But do you think the whole story has been really told there? You think we could in Tennessee take the sales tax totally off of groceries and be okay financially?
I think that there's something to figure out there. That's what I think. And I think that we have to take the fact that it's not even taken seriously makes me wonder if, especially, how many of us would call ourselves Christians we're in the Bible Belt, right? If our primary goal is profit, and our primary goal isn't how do we help our neighbor, then we've started in the wrong place. We've lost the whole plot on following Jesus.
Aren't we able to help our neighbor because we made a profit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. But it's a secondary goal. The first goal is how do we help our neighbor? And yes, but Tennessee, especially when we think about the tax breaks that we're giving corporations and so on, there's no question that we have the money to especially maybe even have a basis of a certain tax bracket is in some way given a tax break with their grocery expenses. Let's have some kind of discussion. But the fact that we're not having some kind of discussion, to me, seems insane. It seems saddening that we can claim the name of Christ on Sunday and then on Monday pander to the corporate elites. Now, I'm grateful for every business person that is investing in the community. I believe that the work of God is being done through that. But when we are pandering to corporate elites rather than seeking primarily the kingdom of God, which Jesus tells us is actually the way is led by those who are considered poor, those who are considered disenfranchised, then I think that we've lost the plot.
Well, we've got about 3 minutes left, so you have some final thoughts for our last 3 minutes here.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that, I as a Christian am very concerned by the dialogue right now surrounding the immigrants in our community. I have talked to local pastors, conservative local pastors, who have had, for instance, food banks for local immigrants. They're unable to actually connect with many of these immigrants who beforehand were being served by these food banks because these people are scared. I mean, the only reason you and I are sitting here, Coleman, not afraid, is because of the way we look and where we come from. And that's just not fair. Over 80% of the people that are targeted by this current policy to get immigrants out of our nation, over 80% of them are Christians. I mean, I'm my brother's keeper, and I want to be associated with that political party that takes that seriously.
Why we have laws in place to become a citizen of the country. Mm-hmm. Why are they not going? We have a lot over the years who have gone through this process. It might be a little bit lengthy and time-consuming, but they do it, become citizens, and are welcomed. But these others just cross the border, and they're here, and we're supposed to take care of them?
I'm told by my faith that I'm my brother's keeper. I'm also told by folks like Warren Buffett that we have plenty to go around in this nation. And so there's this idea of scarcity is not real. It's used to divide us. And we have plenty to go around to help our neighbor, to serve our neighbor. The last thing I'll say, because I know we have to wrap this up, is I'm being told by conservative pastors that the tail is wagging the dog in these churches, that some of these pastors can't even preach on helping the poor anymore without being accused of being woke. And that's absurd. And that's not the way of Jesus. These people that think helping the poor, helping the immigrant is woke, they need to find a new religion because Christianity ain't the one for them.
All right. Well, I guess that will kind of end our discussion here this morning. Pastor Trey Suey with the Cumberland Presbyterian Church here, representing the Democrats Wilson County, who have paid for this time. We thank you for the discussion this morning. And,
thank you.
That is going to do it for this week. We'll be off Monday because it's Memorial Day, and back on Tuesday if all goes well. Wish you a happy weekend. And here on this Friday until Tuesday, I wish you a fantastic day.